students have created an innovative device to help in emergencies. And here is SURE's principal, Lisa Parker, to give us more details about this project.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, parents, for coming, to our superintendent, our board president, to all our board members. I'm so technically savvy that I have a cheat sheet here to read from. My students know a lot more about this than I do, and my new engineering teacher, Mr. Victor Cardona, and I'm just in awe to be here to show off some of the wonderful things that are going on in the school. But the fundamental skill at the core of engineering is the ability to solve problems. And so, and to put it in today's real world issues at the framework, our students in the engineering department has worked diligently to showcase their knowledge and creativity. By using the mechanical concept and programming loops, students were able to create the Rescue Clawbot concept designed as a means of assisting first responders at an emergency scene. So like right now, if you think about it, we have wildfires and everything going on, and if the emergency vehicles was trying to get to the road and the road was covered with debris, what our students created could help them. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cardona.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. So I have my wonderful students here, a team of 6. We have 4 here tonight. So we have Rudra, Serafina, Milani, and Yandalise. Together, they formed a team that we began building this Clawbot. So as Ms. Parker said, our goal is to really problem solve and use the creativity of the students to figure out unique solutions. So we investigate real world scenarios and mechanisms in order to do so. So one of the things that we do in class is we talk about gears and gear ratios and how that can affect a simple build such as ours. They also learn about automating some of these tasks, and they don't know it yet, but after they learn how to drive it, they're going to try to automate it so it does it automatically too. So they're in for a shock there. So with the Rescue Clawbot, basically, as Ms. Parker said, the real world task is to really be able to keep people safe, the first responders, and to use it in a way that can navigate a scene without putting people in harm's way. And by doing so, we created this Clawbot to remove obstacles and to clear debris and such so that those first responders can come through. So if you guys would like to start showcasing, we have our Clawbot right here, and we have our debris in the middle of the way. So our students are going to work together in order to remove these items away from this area here, and they're going to do so and put it off to the side. And I'll continue here. As they do this, this is something that we do on an everyday basis. You can see in the slideshow as well that the students are always very engaged. They're very busy, and they are constantly convening with one another, chatting and collaborating on what are going to be the best solutions to their particular problem. And although I have allowed them the framework to do so, they really use their creativity to really enhance and improve the designs themselves. Okay? And before I say thank you on my end, I have a couple of my students that would like to just talk about their experiences with creating some of the things in the classroom, as well as how the Clawbot works. So Rudra, would you like to come up and just kind of talk about your experiences?
So something like that it was like fun making this project, but there was so many challenges going on to build this. For example, you have to pull where all the right bolts and things like that. If you pull one wrong, then you could just mess up the entire project and make the Clawbot go wrong. And it was really fun testing it out as well, since it dries pretty cool and can do things like pick up this water bottle.
Thanks, Rudra. On top of being able to really test and design and really problem solve on the fly through trial and error, they also are able to use mechanical conceptual skills as well. So Serafina, if you would like to come up and just kind of talk about something with the gear ratio and how the arm works.
In engineering, we've learned about speed and torque, and when it's a small on bigger gear ratio, then it produces more torque, which helps it rotate. And if it's a bigger gear ratio on small, then it creates more speed, which helps it go faster.
So this is something that happens on an everyday basis inside the T-Shore engineering room. I'm so glad to be a part of the team there. The students are amazing, and just some of the things that they are able to come up with and able to do is really inspiring. And even though they're finding some obstacles in their way, they're working to overcome them. And that's basically what the engineering field and the class is all about. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, and thank you guys for...
Nice.
Well, on behalf of the Board of Ed and all of my sitting board members, we want to thank you for coming out tonight. Most importantly, to see a game control in your hand that operates the little apparatus down there that has all the mechanics and electrical wiring running through it. It's incredible. But I want to commend you students because your determination, your commitment to this, it's showing, and I can't wait to see where this goes once you reach the high school and get into robotics fully. I'm excited. I'm going to keep an eye on you. I'm going to take a memory of your face and say, okay, I remember when they came and showed us at the beginning, and now look at them now. So I'm going to come over. I'm going to be passing these certificates out that we want to present to all of you. It has your name, today's date, as a token and a thank you for coming here tonight and just showing us some of the stuff that's going on at Shore, because as we know, each middle school does something different. Everybody has their own spin and everybody has their own unique programs that they do for their school, and this just happens to be Shore. And like, again, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight and for all that you're doing in the classroom with the students to encourage them, support them, and enlighten them to see different things other than the basic stuff that they normally learn. Thank you.
Milani?
We're gonna come over and before Gary gets me for not doing it the right way with the picture. You gotta come this way.
Okay.
You'll come with me and then we'll.
I got you, now I get it.
Alright. And then once you get your certificate, you'll come stand here, and then we'll take one group picture.
John Luis Mateo. Rudra Patel.
And I'm Lisa Parker, and I'm gonna go up with them.
And there are 2 students who aren't here tonight, but they will be receiving their certificates at school tomorrow.
You want to hold your robot for the picture?
Yeah.
And I'm going over here behind Miss Lisa.
Everybody smile.
Rescue is the name.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, don't forget your water bottle. You left one.
Gary, thank you.
Get home safely.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have our student representatives report. Good evening, guys. How are you this evening? Tomby and Tyler. Excited to see you and to hear what's going on at the high school. Tyler, I know you always start off as the junior.
Good evening, everyone. So, about 2 weeks ago, we had our Red Ribbon Week. So, like, SAD, the club, and Incorruptible Us. SAD is Students Against Destructive Decisions, and Incorruptible Us, they kind of came together and they set up tables. We handed out pamphlets and stickers about drug use and alcohol use, and then students came up during their lunch periods, and we would ask them questions about it. They would answer, and when they answer, you get like a little gift, a little lollipop or whatever. So just to teach them more about drug use and alcohol use and the safeties and what to be better at. And then our Black Student Union is hosting a Friendsgiving on November 6th. So there'll be food, drinks, games,
December,
talent shows.
November 6th?
November 6th, November 26th.
Oh, I'm like,
my
I think that passed, but okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, food, drinks, games, talent shows. Should be a great time. And then our National Honor Society is hosting a blood drive on December 11th. So anybody 16 or older, obviously with parental consent, can give blood and all of that. And then last week, our HBCU we had a HBCU Scholars Tour. So kids went to different schools in Delaware, DC, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, and with chaperone teachers. And then they saw a bunch of different schools, stayed in hotels, and then all the students got to see a bunch of schools and see where they would want to go for the next couple of years. And then to end off with some sports, our girls volleyball, football, tennis, they all had senior nights, and that all went great. Some of our team made some good playoff runs. And then our winter sports are about to start, so tryouts are coming up before, after Thanksgiving, interest meetings are happening, and all that.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, I hope you all are doing well. I'm not exactly sure how to follow up that robot because that was amazing. But it is that time of the year. There are a lot of things going on. As the holidays are coming up, a lot of seasonal activities are starting to begin. So starting off with the club fair last month, I mentioned it. A lot of clubs are hitting it off. We've had so many good activities, interest meetings, a lot of events for this upcoming year, which should be very exciting. Going on that, we touched on this last month, but FBLA had their annual Haunted High, which was a huge hit. I personally was a part of the National Honor Society's Minions themed room, and it was so cute and so exciting to see all the little kids coming in with smiles on their face, so that was fun. Going on with FBLA, regionals is coming up for the Atlantic City SLC State Leadership Conference, which is usually in March. So the first step is to qualify for regionals. So that testing is on December 2nd after school. So if the students pass, they can qualify up for the states, which is very exciting. As well as FBLA and HOSA sponsorship runs have begun. So there's actually one for FBLA tomorrow in Oak Tree Road at 3:30. Which is a really, really good way of fundraising and getting that sense of community out in the town. Some of the kids from Miss Krieger's Porch AP World History took a visit to Piscataway JFK Library to view the World on the Move exhibit, which shows important historical facts and human migration over centuries, which was very informative, and I know the kids had a really good time. I saw the exhibit and it looked very cool, so I thought that was really exciting. In terms of the NHS, we have 92 incoming inductees this year, which is super exciting. Today we had our very first NHS meeting for those incoming students, so it was nice to see lots of juniors, but also some seniors, which was really, really cool. NHS has also started their after-school tutoring in the HAP and in Patton and Anthony. So many, many volunteer opportunities and tutoring opportunities, which is great to see in this school and see so many students getting involved and giving back. Latin Night is actually tomorrow, which is a huge hit event, which is really exciting to see all the festivities and the culture. There's been morning announcements every day, and it's been in Spanish, which has been really cool to hear and see that so much culture at this school. Also, ICCA is hosting their Garba Night on Wednesday, December 4th in the Patton Cafeteria from 6 to 9, which also just shows the wide diversity in the school and how much culture there is, which is really cool to see. So just ending off, there's colleges acceptances coming in and college visits which are going on, so a lot of exciting things for seniors as well.
Thank you guys so much. As I say, we get our information from you as to being our eyes at the high school, and we really appreciate it. Did anyone have any questions for them? Great job, guys. Okay. Thank you for coming out again. I know you're not going to stay, and we understand, so go ahead, go home, get some rest, and get home safely until our next meeting.
Have a great
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Have a good
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
Yep.
as well.
As well.
Next, we have my president's report for November 14th. We want to congratulate Ms. J, a teacher in our SEL program, for being chosen as the Transition Educator of the Year for the state of New Jersey. Ms. J was chosen for this great honor for her dedication in guiding our special needs students into adulthood and workplace. Our SEL program does incredible work preparing students with autism and developmental and cognitive impairment development, functional life skills. Ms. J, a PHS graduate who has been a special education teacher in our district for 25 years, is a wonderful example of great work done by all our special education teachers and is a well-deserving of this award. We want to congratulate our middle school football team for winning the Big Central Championship this past Tuesday night. The Chiefs defeated Elizabeth 32-6 at home to complete a perfect season of 8-0. This was their second year in a row in the title game, and they brought home Piscataway's first ever middle school championship. Congratulations also to PHS High School football team for winning their first playoff game since 2018 when they beat Bayonne 42-13 on November the 2nd. Thank you to all the coaches and parents for their sacrifices that you make to help our student athletes succeed. The present and future are both looking bright for Piscataway football. And that concludes my president's report. Next on the agenda, we have the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. As always, please check out our superintendent's report on our website under the Superintendent's Corner. Highlights this month include student programs on financial literacy, democracy, respect, safety, civic responsibility, including voting and recycling, and much more. It also includes information about our November 1st Staff Professional Development Day, and I want to thank Dr. Baskerville and his C&I team for putting together some programs that span the entire faculty of the district and talked about articulations and curriculum and safety and security and CPR training. Really nice job. We got some great feedback, and I want to thank you publicly for all the work that you did there. Couple other things. First, I want to congratulate the Board of Education for your dedication and work. Ms. Cherry received a letter from the school boards that reads, "Congratulations, I'm pleased to inform you that the Piscataway Township Board of Education has earned board certification through the New Jersey School Board's Board Member Academy. By meeting the Academy's rigorous standards, your board has demonstrated a high regard for professional development." The letter goes on a little bit, but I think, just to explain, the board volunteered more time, personal time, to come here and go through 16 hours of training from school boards. They came and they trained us on different topics that have to do with governance, would have to do with board governance and activities and things like that. And I really am very impressed by the dedication. Everybody was here all 16 hours. It was tremendous. And I want to thank you because the more we all know together, the better the school district runs. So we appreciate that, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, for me, our New Jersey CUSAC placement has come in. Board members, you have the letter on your desk. So New Jersey CUSAC is the state's way of monitoring school districts and making sure we're meeting the standards for fiscal responsibility, operations, academics, things of that nature. So I'll read a little bit of the letter to make sure I don't miss anything. Piscataway Township School District has undergone a New Jersey CUSAC review. Review of the school district self-assessment and the district performance reviews, verifies this district's compliance with all 5 areas: our instruction and program, fiscal management, governance, operation, and personnel. So our scores were instructional program 83%, fiscal management 100%, governance 95%, operations 98%, and personnel 100%. I'm pleased to inform you that your district is satisfied at least 80% of the weighted indicators of each of the 5 areas and has been designated a high-performing school district. So the things that I read are things that we do every day, and we're really proud that they run so well. I want to thank the people at this table, the central office, and how the district runs. So we have our CUSAC reviews once every 3 years, and as we expect to be in the high-performing area, it's not an easy test, so I want to make sure everybody gets credit and thanked publicly. So and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Manelli. Next, we have Personnel and Labor Relations, Ms. Salgado Cohen.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through G be approved as presented.
Second. Mrs. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Ms. Rivers?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Now we're on to committee reports. Dr. Connors, fiscal planning and finance.
Okay, but I just want to take a moment to emphasize what the superintendent just said, because the school board is all about student achievement, and through the administrator's efforts to get that CUSAC, you can see we're a high-performing district. But the board is also responsible for training itself, and then doing self-evaluations. And this training happens every maybe 4 or 5 years. So I'm very proud of everyone here to take the time to learn, because national research shows that better local school governance, it's not only in the state of New Jersey, but all over the country, results in better student achievement, and that's what we're about. And so I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for both the administration and school board members for putting in that time and effort. The Fiscal Plans and Operations Committee, we met last night, right? Oh my gosh. To discuss the 2023-2024 audit, facility, capital projects, food services, and a lot more. But on the audit, the fiscal year 2023-24 was a strong financial year with a surplus available at the year's end. Mr. Oliveira recommends keeping the maintenance reserve at its maximum allowed amount and depositing additional funds into capital reserves. PF O'Connor Davies will, and that's the audit company, will present the audit to the committee and full board in December. Piscataway High School just had some new kitchen equipment installed up the Patton building area, and the Patton kitchen was jackhammered to repair water lines. Plumbing work was completed in the Anthony and Patton cafeterias and awaits inspection, and new flooring will be installed in places, and the equipment will be installed. Facility capital projects, we're doing a Piscataway High School dust collection. Some interior gas line work was completed. Preliminary work will progress before the main piece of equipment arrives in early spring. The Piscataway High School Media Center, this is exciting, where the district administration met for a second time with our architect, Spiesel, for design development, and visited Watchung Hills High School to see a similar project and get feedback. What's going to happen is that area up there at the high school now is going to be refurbished, and it's going to make some room for some esports.
The arena, the esports arena.
Esports arena, and so that area is going to be redone. Acoustical upgrades. The district administration met with Spiesel in the Anthony Gym and reviewed acoustical panel options. Based on revisions to design, bidding has been pushed back. In that gym over here, you can tell, like when you're in there, you'll have a big echo. So we're trying to do some work in there. And then there's some work up to high school and preschool. This is exciting. What was unexpected is that the district submission for the remodeling of 10 classrooms at the administration building was approved by the Office of School Facilities Projects. So we were able to get some pathway to possibly getting 10 more classrooms. Energy Savings Improvement Program update. We've been involved for years now. How we do energy savings, and it results in improvements, facility improvements. So the maintenance HVAC staff continues to work with Siemens Honeywell at the remaining projects, and full closeout should be completed by year's end. Solar panels, Mr. Oliveira discussed key findings from the Talva Energy Solar Evaluation at Piscataway High School. Additional analysis is being completed, including a review of the solar panels at Quibbletown, where roof replacements are needed. So you want to do them at the same time, roof and center. Food service update. And thank you to the administration for thinking this and implementing this, is that we now have universal free breakfast. During September and October, overall participation was up 132%. So now more kids are going and getting that free breakfast, representing 68,096 breakfasts served versus 32,427 served in the same period last year. So when kids aren't hungry, they can't learn, and this was a great initiative to have more breakfasts served, and especially at first thing in the morning. So Chef Day, Mr. Oliveira informed the committee about the success of Chef Day at Quibbletown, with lunch entree meals increasing from a daily average of 7 to 70 to 80 to 140. School meals and summer, EBT, it stands for something benefit, I don't know what it stands for. Applications, and this date is being finalized, but it appears that the district's free and reduced percentage will increase from 36% to 44%. Ad hoc committee on food service debt. The committee approved sending an email to inactive families with positive balances, allowing them the opportunity to donate their funds to help offset families' negative balances. New Jersey School Business Legislative Update. Dr. Connors, me, we discussed conversations that we had. I'm very active in the New Jersey School Boards Association, and we have a legislative committee, and we invite, it's down in Trenton, so we invite legislators over to talk about local school issues with them, and one of the big issues is school funding. And at this past meeting, and Chantel Cherry and I are representatives for District 17 in New Jersey to that legislative committee. We discussed about school funding bills and other potential legislation. And it's always a good thing to talk with your legislators about what's happening locally, so that they aren't passing bills from the top down. It's what's happening here locally, so they listen, and then that happens that way. Business office update. Investment account. The committee reviewed the current balance of the October 2024 New Jersey ARM, and I do know what that stands for. It's Asset and Rebate Management Statement and current interest rates. This was very, very clever way our business administrator and administration decided that we were able to take 20% of certain funds and actually invest that money, and we can use that money for other purposes within our budget. And and we're currently getting like about 5% interest, and so we have about $15 million invested, and we made so far about $400,000 or $500,000. So it's a very smart thing to do. Thank you to the business office. Solar renewable energy certificates. The district sold 1,881 year-end 2021 solar renewable energy credits at the price of $213.50 each. So the district's inventory of these things known as SRECs is in the excess of 4,760 for energy years 2022-25. So with our solar panels, we have a gadget that tells you how much we're using, and then we can actually sell those when the time comes. Post-retirement plan contributions. Mr. Oliveira summarized the proposal that vacation and sick day retirement payouts for the superintendent, business administrator, and assistant superintendent be paid into a 403B retirement account instead of as compensation, and the district benefits by saving this particular FICA tax. So as you can see, lots of great fiscal things happening, and always looking for ways to save money and also to garnish some money so that we can keep all the programs going. So that's my report.
David, can I ask you a question? Do central admin have sick day caps like teachers do? Like where you can carry a certain amount?
Subject to the same cap.
Same sort of caps?
Anyone else with any other questions?
What was the chef day?
Yeah.
Oh, that was really great. That was, David can explain it, but the chef, Maggios that we just had, brought an executive chef over to Quilltown and set up a pasta station.
Yeah, so as Tom said, we had an executive chef come, set up a pasta station. There was penne pasta, and then there were two sauce options, a marinara sauce or a cheese sauce. Then they had two meat options, meatballs or chicken, and then they had broccoli and garlic bread. And then they had a side of salad as well, and they had Parmesan cheese and hot peppers that the kids could put on the dish. So it was very popular. As you can see, the meal counts on a normal day for an entree would be maybe 70 to 80 at Quibbletown, and they sold out entirely by the end of the third lunch, 140 entrees, and probably one of the best observations you could make. I went out into the cafeteria area for a while and stood next to the garbage can and watched what people were throwing out, and the trays were empty, so the food had been eaten, and a lot of times that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So it was very positive. Maschio's plan for this corporate chef to come out is to rotate to different schools throughout the year, at least once a month, But this type of offering, I think, is something, again, Mascios is new, this is their second month with us, November, third month. This is something that they don't even need to necessarily wait for the corporate chef, is what I'll be pushing them for, is to do more of these type of things on a more consistent basis, but this was their first one, very successful.
And for those people who've been around, is that, what I was gonna suggest is that when we had Sodexo, if people remember, we had a win-win situation with our Piscataway Education Foundation where the kids did this Iron Chef competition. So Sodexo chefs came out, worked with the kids, and they did the competition. And I'm hoping that Maggios has that same ability, so that down the line, we could actually work with within the community to make some money in, for the Education Foundation.
All right, thank you. Next committee, now we're gonna go approval of minutes, Ms. Rivers.
Be resolved that the following minutes be approved as submitted.
No, you gotta read it, business meeting with the date
Oh, on this page? No, it's below.
on the bottom. Page
Oh,
2.
sorry. Business meeting, October 10th, 2024. Executive session, October 10th, 2024.
Motion.
Now motion.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
It's been a long day.
I'm gonna apologize now, cause I'm gonna start coughing. It's okay, nothing's wrong. It's autoimmune and asthma. The combination of the two can get toxic. Public comments from the floor. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comments and educational issues and school matters of the community interest. In support of this position, the law establishes a period of public comment at every board meeting. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. The board may require that individuals register to speak prior to the beginning of the meeting. Participants may submit written material in support of their position. All statements in or questions shall be directed to the presiding officer, and no participant may address or question any board members individually. All speakers are required to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy rights of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while this is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern to the school community, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law, the governing defamation of invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of legal ramifications of their comment, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand for their own legal advice. Is there anyone in the public audience wishing to come up and speak? If you do so, please step forward, give me your name, first and last name, and your residence. And you can come one at a time, and we'll take it accordingly.
Good evening. Sid Madison, 176 Blackford Avenue. I made a similar presentation to the council, township council, and I'm going to pick something off that I told them about. You know that cowboys have either white hats or black hats, and I told the council that our white hats are very gray, and our black hats, which are represented by the fossil fuel industry, is very shiny. And we are now in the following position where our neighbors do not understand that we are in a climate crisis. I'll explain that, but first some facts and goals about emissions and global temperatures. The Paris Agreement by more than 190 countries agreed that the increase in global temperatures should be held to at most 2 degrees with an aspirational goal of 1.5 degrees. About emissions, the Kyoto Protocol of the late 90s called for emissions reductions. In 2024, the emissions are 0.8% greater than they were the prior year, and they're higher than they were in the late 90s when we said we wanted to reduce emissions. So emissions are the driver of global warming, which is in turn the cause of climate crisis. The temperature per the goals of the Paris Agreement of over 190 countries was 1.5 degrees increase aspirational, and the red line of 2 degrees remember 1.5 and 2 degrees. The future projection based on current policies worldwide, the temperature could increase up to 3 degrees. That's twice the aspirational and 1 degree over the red line. These goals, facts, and projection are what I said, why I said the climate crisis in my opening sentence. Someone else said we only have a few years left and we're not acting like it. Neighbors do not understand the climate crisis. I make that statement because Pew polling on federal issues does not have climate as the most important issue. You cannot, in the future, make things any better for the climate. For all the other human-caused rules, you can change things in the future and make things better. For the climate, you were not going to make it better in the future. You have to do it now. And the reason for that is because even if future generations take the expensive step or process of removal of atmospheric carbon dioxide, the atmospheric temperature do not drop significantly for 1,000 years. What we do now is going to affect future generations for 1,000 years. If we don't do this now, and I don't think people understand that, we have a problem. So in my time in Citizens Climate Lobby, which I'm no longer a member of, but they recommend going to school boards because the school boards are responsible for the young people, and the young people are the ones that are gonna end up enduring or having this very poor climate. School boards really need to make sure that the neighbors and everybody are educated about this.
Okay, Sid, do me a favor, in fairness to everybody else, we said there was going to be a 3-minute cap, so if you could either wrap it up or have a seat, and when they come back up, or send something to the board, you can send it to Dr. Manelli or myself, and we can read it and have a discussion with you, but in fairness to everyone else, it's been the 3 minutes, and in fairness to everybody else, and I know there's other people
I'll
who
come
wanna
back.
speak. All right, thank you. Next, can you give me your name and address, please? Who wants to speak next? Come on, I see you ladies out there. Come on, let your voice be heard. You didn't come here just to sit in that chair. Let's go.
Is the mic ready?
You're
It's
fine.
on. You don't have to do it. It's on.
My bad.
Just give us your name and the township that you live in.
My name is Michaela Williams. I live in Piscataway Township. I've been playing basketball for Piscataway for almost 4 years, and this year we have gotten a new coach, and our coach is being taken away from us, and our other new assistant coaches. I'm a senior, and all I can say is out of all my years, I've experienced multiple coaches with very different traits, and I can say from the bottom of my heart that I've never experienced such love, care, and dedication from a coach like Coach Clark and our other assistant coaches. As a senior, my goal is to go to college for basketball. Coach Clark, she's very experienced, and she can get in connections with me, because right now I'm uncommitted and I don't have many colleges looking at me, and I want to be able to, have a scholarship to go. So yeah. And also, over the summer, we worked out very hard. Out of all the other coaches that I've had in the past, because we've switched through a lot of assistant coaches and other coaches, we never worked as hard as we did this summer. We had 2 workouts a day. We had lift, and then right after it was straight to basketball, and we pushed ourselves really hard. We sweated. We just worked really hard, and I feel like it's unfair, for them to take our new coach away, who we just got, and she already feels like family, even though it's been like 5 months. She just makes a priority to just to make sure that we're okay mentally and as well as on the court. We've fundraised a lot of money, and we have plans to get shooting machines, all this other stuff, and merchandise and everything, and I just feel like it would be really unfair if they would just take all of that away of what we worked for. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela.
Okay, who's next? You're on the front row. I can see you. Come on. You got this. Your speech is in that phone. Let's go.
Hello, my name is Saray Crowley Battle, and I live in Piscataway also, and I'm coming up for the same issue. I play basketball, and for the same reason, I feel like this is the first coaching staff that actually feels like family, and we've had them since summer. They've been working us out, and as a basketball team, like you can't just take something away because that you've been building for multiple times and not giving a true reason. And I definitely feel like it's unfair because for the boys basketball team, they're going through the same thing, and the athletic directors aren't giving them a hard time, but they're giving us a hard time, not allowing us to have volunteer assistant coaches or letting go our coach that they just hired because she was trying to fight for her position. And they were trying to give us coaches that didn't have experience in basketball, and in the past we've had coaches who didn't really care, and it hasn't come out to a season. And personally, we want to play basketball to go to college because there's some people that can't afford college, like myself. I only have one parental figure, and that's my mom over there. And it's not an option to pay for college. I have to find a way to get into college myself, and I feel like it's a slap in the face because I really love playing basketball, and taking away a coach that we just got and she's building with us. It's just, I feel like it's just crazy. And we haven't had a real reason. It just happened today, and now we're here speaking to help and fight for our coach because there's only so much he can do. And our athletic director didn't really give us a reason besides human researchers just said no, that we can't have assistant coaches. And our coach feels she doesn't want to be a coach here. She doesn't have her coaching staff, and she's not comfortable with someone like a gymnastics coach that doesn't care about basketball or know anything about basketball to coach our team, and neither do I. So I feel like, once again, it's very unfair, and I would personally like to keep my coach and continue on with the basketball season because it's what I love to do and it's what I want to do in the future.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I see two more of you sitting there. You gonna stay shy or you gonna come up and speak? Come on. Let's let all the kids have their voice, and then Mama Bear, come on up.
I just want to give a history lesson.
My name is Kaylin Cook, and I'm from Piscataway also.
Was Kayla?
Kaylin.
Kaylin, thank you.
Yes. I'm speaking about the same reason also. I played middle school basketball for 3 years, and the coaching staff, it was like they didn't really care, and it was like not as fun as this year. And this year, it just made me feel welcome. And I'm a freshman, so it's hard when you're building on a team that they know each other. So it just felt welcome, and they put their heart into us, and they care about us a lot. And I would like to keep my coach because they're just very, like, caring to us, and they put a lot of work into us.
Thank you, Kayla.
Okay, thank you, babe.
Hi, my name is Chloe Thomas, and I go to Piscataway High School, and I live in Piscataway Township. I am also here for the same reason as the previous ladies for the basketball, and we have recently found out that we will no longer be coached by the new coaches that we've been playing with since July, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
Just breathe, you got
Take
this.
your time. Take your time.
Basketball means a lot to me, and it's something that I'm passionate about. And the girls that I play with, these are not just my teammates, they're my sisters. And I feel like it's unfair that 2 weeks before tryouts, we have found out we will no longer be coached with these coaches. And as a player, I have not had the best experiences with a lot of coaches, being that I'm a little hard-headed, so it's hard to it's
Very self-aware.
it's hard to find coaches that understand. they understand me. I'm sorry for being emotional.
That's
but
okay. That's what you're here for. It's fine.
I breathe basketball. And every morning I wake up and I'm stressing about, I want to make it. Am I going to make it? And the girls that are around me, I want them to make it. And I just want to be successful, doing something that I love. Knowing that as a female who plays sports, it's already not easy as it is. As you can see, WNBA players can't even reach $1 million in salary. So I just feel like I'm just here to say that we were blessed with a new coaching staff who cares about us, not only as a team player, but off the court, who we are as students. Make sure we're on top of our grades and they care about what we have going on outside of basketball. In the short time of just about 4 or 5 months, we've built a family, and I've been playing with these girls since 8th grade, and I feel like I've been with them my whole life. And it's just more on a bonding aspect, and it kind of hurts that we know that we may be given new coaches who wouldn't really understand us and what we're here for. Because it's not just a club, it's not something we do for fun. It's something that we love and hope to do for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shakita Ross. I am a Piscataway resident, and I am Nevaeh's mom. So Nevaeh is also a basketball player amongst these girls. But I must say to you that all of the 4 girls you see here are star players before I even get into what I'm about to get into, right? So last year we had Coach Kiki, and I like to first point out that my daughter Nevaeh does have an IEP. So for her to be able to play all 3 years in Kanakamak, for her to have training for 2 years with MSU Diamonds, which is a AAU part of that whole contract, and she also had some training with RGK. So over the summertime, I have a child custody order, so my daughter has to go to North Carolina over the summer. So she was only able to make it to one of the workouts. The coach that they're referring to, she broke the contract in several different ways. I spoke to the athletic director, I spoke to Coach Marsh, and I even tried to, speak to the coach who they're referring to. No responses. I would email her, I would CC the athletic director in the emails. She would not respond. When you look at the pictures that they post on Piscataway basketball Instagram, sorry, I'm nervous, I'm not a public speaker. Most of the girls that you see here are Michaela, Saray, Chloe, Kaylin, who just joined the team, the 2 twins who she played with in, Kanakamak. So all the girls that were able to participate in the summer workouts, take her out. All the girls that were able to participate in the summer workouts are star players, all of them. So my daughter, who has an IEP, bad enough, like I said, she had training for several years. According to the athletic director, I was told that you guys aren't under contract to have the Piscataway team playing against other teams, I guess outside of the county or something like that. So on the page, she was posting, where they were playing against Hunterdon. And granted, I'm glad that the girls were able to get the treatment they were able to get. I'm glad that they were able to, play in the league or whatever, the championship and all of that. All of them are sweet girls. I met all of them. I met parents. I came to every single game. My daughter never missed a practice, nothing. But they said the coach said because she didn't come to the workouts, she automatically wasn't eligible for the fall season or whatever it was that it was called. She was in the group chat at one point. Michaela did try to advocate for her a little bit, which is fine, but she's a child. So, and like I told them before, I wasn't going to go back and forth with the children. I would let me speak to your parents, because I was asking the students, and Michaela is the captain, So I was asking her, okay, where's y'all coach at? Because she's just not responding. And I think it just got a little out of hand. But of course, these are children, and I'm an adult, so I wasn't going to argue with children about that. But it was really unfair, the treatment that my daughter got, I feel like, because she wasn't a star player. Now, again, you can pull out your phones and you can look on Instagram right now. You will see pictures of all these girls. You will see the games they were playing. And just like they mentioned about college, why didn't my daughter have the opportunity for a lot of the recruiters or even the coach over here, who's the RGK coach, AAU, why didn't she have the opportunity to get in front of these people and possibly play and get a scholarship just like the star players? So I'm not saying that Coach Clark should be fired, but I feel like she should give all the girls an opportunity to have the same treatment that the star players does. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Malola Edel. I'm a parent in Piscataway. And I'm just going to do a general history about basketball. So I'll just address a little bit. Fall ball is very different than in season. Fall ball, a head coach cannot be involved or coach that team. It's against New Jersey law for a head coach to participate in any fall sports. So the reason why they created fall ball is for the girls and the coach to actually see, and boys, to see what they need to improve, what they need to work on with the girls. So it's completely separate from the head coach. If the head coach is caught coaching, they are against New Jersey law. So it's very separate thing. And whoever coached fall ball cannot be part of the program. It has to be a volunteer. So that's just, to put it in perspective. Now, basketball, after COVID, basketball changed. It's a business. Kids get paid to go to college. And you really need strong, knowledgeable coach to coach, right? For boys, the landscape is very hard. You can read, they may take a college used to take a whole bunch of boys. Now each college might take one boy from high school. Imagine all these boys who play. One boy might get a scholarship to Rutgers or wherever, right? If they're very good, 2 boys might get into college. Okay? The landscape for boys is very difficult. However, for girls, it's not as difficult because for whatever reason, girls tend to quit the sports. So there's lots more open space in college for girls. My daughter is just entering 9th grade. She already had interest when she played over the summer to go to college. College already contacted her coach. They can't contact me until her 10th grade year, going into a junior, but they can contact her coach. They contact her coach, invite her to camps. So the girls' side is a little bit easier, but you need a coach that knows how to connect with colleges, right? I don't know about last year. I don't want to speak about old coaches because it doesn't make sense. But I know going forward, because I'm knee-deep in basketball, I think I have a lot more knowledge because of my older son, that if you have a high school coach that knows how to connect and reach out to college coach, most of these girls can go to college, whether it's D1, D2, D3, because there's room. But if you don't know how to reach out or rub elbows, connection matters. Favors is in basketball. If you have an AU coach who sees a whole bunch of college coach because they know how to showcase, it's a lot more than just picking a teacher and say, go coach a high school varsity team now. Because the opportunity that these girls are going to miss if just a random high school teacher come and coach them, it's great. And knowing the landscape, knowing where you have to go to be seen, it's important. It's very important. And I'm not going to speak on Coach Carr because I don't personally know her. I know my daughter had no complaints so far. I know she's doing all the right stuff because my son is going to a school that did the same thing. The fall is showcase. The next step is to bring in college while they practice. That's how you get scholarship. And if you just put a random teacher who doesn't know that, these girls are going to miss an opportunity, because there's lots of school open, again, from D1 all the way to D3, that looking for girls, right? So that's the first thing I want to say. And I also want to say, life, and every time I hear equity, well, how is it equitable when the boys varsity team got new coaches and not flimsy coaches? I mean, one was a head coach of a private school. The other one came from another elite private school to be the assistant, right? And they have tons of volunteer. But on the girls' side, you don't think they need that? They need it more. Because guess what? Maybe 3 of them can go to college. On the boys' side, it's just the reality. Maybe none of them will go. Because there's more boys playing basketball than there are girls. And I want, my daughter had the opportunity to go to Catholic school, but she wanted to come to Piscataway. And this summer when I heard they're hiring a new coach and all this stuff, I thought this would be a good place for her. But now, and again, I don't know why she was fired, so I'm not going to speak on that. But unless you're putting in place another strong contender, I think you're doing the girls a disservice, especially a senior.
Hi, my name is Nevaeh Ross, and I stay in Piscataway, New Jersey. So, before I went to North Carolina, I went to one practice, and then I came back to North Carolina. I came back to Piscataway, and then I texted the coach and Michaela or somebody, and I said, can I still do the fall lead or AAU, whatever it was? And then they said, oh no, you can't, because I only came to one practice. So that kind of hurt it, because I've been playing basketball since I've been in sixth grade, and I've been playing with them since middle school. So, and yeah, that hurt it. And then for them to try to argue with my mom in a group chat, that hurt it, because I really don't play with my mom like that, and I just don't know what to do at this point. So it's do I still want to try out? So they're saying that we having a gymnastics coach, so I don't know how that's going to turn out for this season, I guess. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Crowley. My daughter plays for Piscataway. She's a sophomore, excuse me. I'm in Piscataway Township. I grew up here, lived here 43 years. I was on the girls basketball team. We won the only state championship here at Piscataway. So I know a lot about the sport. And to watch these girls come today and stand in front of you guys and let you guys know how they feel. Coach Clark is not the best coach in the world, but she made a bond with these girls in 5 months. These girls last year were all over the place. Attitudes with the coach, with each other, it was a mess. She brought them together in 5 months and made them an undefeated team in the fall season. And if that is not recognition enough of what she could have done, given the chance for the winter, I don't know what else not you guys, but expected of a coach. She came in not knowing anyone and made these girls her daughters. I spoke with her in depth today, and she was livid because of the parameters that were set in for her to become the coach and then not allowed to continue being the coach because of paperwork. That is exactly the reason what it is. And I just feel as though we as a community need to stand behind these girls, because when I was in high school, girls basketball, there was no talk of boys basketball. It was all girls. Now it's all about the boys. These girls don't even practice in Piscataway High School. They have to go to a middle school just to practice because there's no room for them. but she still made them a undefeated team in the fall season. And the fall season, like she said, is something that this is the first time our girls have ever participated in it, because we don't have too many girls. It's 13 of them, and we're supposed to have 2 teams with 13 girls. And right now, with them having no coach, the season is now not starting in 2 weeks, but it's postponed. Because who is going to be the coach? They told them that now tryouts are pushed back. So these girls that have been working for 5 months to perfect the skills that they have can't even display it right now. And then you're going to bring somebody in that don't even know their names or doesn't even know what the sport of basketball even is. It's not just about a book. You have to have a connection with these girls. And I've known these girls because my daughter's been playing with them. And they have the potential to be great outside of Piscataway High School. They are all college bound because they have the work ethic that Coach Clark has instilled in them. And to take that all away from them, as a player, a former player and a coach right now, it's not fair. And somebody has to stand up for them, and that's what they're doing today, and their voices need to continue to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just make a quick comment about the tryouts being pushed back.
Yes.
I will make sure that they understand what's going on tomorrow, okay?
I'm sorry, I just want to say one more thing, and I'm glad that the other parents are here advocating, but just like she said, it's 13 girls on the team. Trials are on November 25th to November 27th. My daughter sent me the flyer this morning. So if it's 13 girls on, how many girls are supposed to be on the team altogether? 10? So if it's already 13 girls playing in a fall sport, where is room for Nevaeh, who couldn't play in a fall sport because she didn't come to the summer workouts? So Coach Clark is giving all of them training, but what about the other girls who wants to try out?
Excuse me, can you?
I'm just saying, talking to the other parents.
I want to be clear. Just make sure you have comments this way, not discussion with.
Alrighty, so the other girls that want to try out, they can try out, but she has already trained 13 girls on, you understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, she just needs to make, I'm not saying that she should be fired or you guys should lose that coach, but make it fair for everyone. My daughter played in Connecticut for both years, for matter of fact, all 3 years, South Plainfield, because she transferred from South Plainfield to Connecticut. I actually met you, Tom, at one of the football games, if you recall, and I spoke to you about these same issues before Coach Clark got fired. So that's all I need to say. Like I said, it just needs to be some type of fairness and not just with the players that had multiple years training.
Understand, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, guys. My name is Corey Cook, Caitlin's dad. Just before I even get into real quick, I'm not going to be long-winded, but just understanding, I just heard someone speak, and just to bring a little clarity to that situation, with Coach Clark, what they're looking to do is they would love to field a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team, right? Everybody's trying out. So depending upon your skill level, you will play on the appropriate team. So being that right now, currently you have 13 kids right here right now that worked out this summer, and they were able to, they worked out, did two-a-days and other training that they did on their own, and they played in this fall league that was put together, and they played 8 games, and yes, they did go undefeated. That's not the end. The tryouts will be the determiner. Once they have the tryouts over those 2 days, because it's going to be a lot more than 13 girls.
Right.
Right. They're gonna, and they will be, just as Coach Clark said, they will be broken down accordingly to their skill level, and they'll separate. So, if you have a JV team, you have a varsity team, they'll break down in, that form of fashion. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
I appreciate it.
As far as what's going on right now, again, Coach Clark has definitely been a light. Like, I haven't been in Piscataway all my life like most of them. I come from Roselle, New Jersey. I lived in Elizabeth sometimes. I've been out in Piscataway for maybe approximately over about 13 years now, right? True, Caitlin has been playing basketball since she was 6 years old, right? She put a lot of time in, put a lot of work towards, achieving a level that she's trying to get to. She's actually put the work in to do so, right? Coach Clark, just by watching how she's developed that relationship with these girls, she's developing a winning culture, right? It's funny, just like someone else spoke earlier, we've had a couple opportunities to play in a couple different places, like private schools, to go play. This child is Piscataway all day. No matter what we say as parents, like, Dad, no, I'm going to P-Way. I'm going to play in Piscataway. Okay, well, we have a couple opportunities, nah, I'm going to Piscataway. And they have a new coach, last year, and again, I don't cast stones. Everybody lives in a glass house, right? So I don't cast stones. Whatever happened, whatever the case may be, it didn't work out that well. They had some problems on the team in itself, and I just didn't see that cohesiveness on the team. I work over in Moonachie, which is over an hour and 15 minutes away. I made sure that I left work last year, every game that they had, went to the high school games, watched the home games and away games. Why? Because I'm looking out to make sure that we're going to make the right decision, And I watched, and I seen some things, with my own eyes. I was like, wow, something's missing. They're missing something, right? Coach Puda he's a great guy, right? And I don't blame him for that, and it's not necessarily his fault, right? He decided to move on to other things. But by observing these games, I just know, and I'm also a basketball coach, and I've coached for years as well, they were missing something. Coach Clark is that something. She cares, she's passionate, she understands the game, she's played the game, she's competed at the highest level, right? And just watching what's happening here and watching the different obstacles that she's kind of had to go around. From an outsider looking in, it just didn't seem like it was equal, right? To be fair, again, I watched the football team. Piscataway's always had a great football team. They're not as great as they used to be, but they're still a great team, right? Great team, great character. I know coaches on that team that are volunteer coaches. I know what the requirements were for them to become volunteer coaches. I also know that Coach Clark was told that the coaches that she was trying to bring aboard needed certain qualifications that the same coaches, same guys out here on the football field that are volunteering did not need to have. That was a little disturbing, right? However, at the end of the day, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. I just want, as Saray's mom said, to make sure that these girls have an opportunity to be the best them, right? Bringing in, and when people volunteer, and especially when you talk about assistant coaches, when people volunteer for a position like that, sometimes we look at it as that we can take a tennis player and make them a boxer, or a boxer and make them a baseball player, right? You can't, for instance, take a gymnastics coach or player and make them a high school basketball coach, right? Recreation is one thing, right? This is, no matter how we slice it, recreation basketball is different than high school basketball, right? And just as we want to put the best coaches out there on that football field and make sure that they're being led by someone that truly knows and understands the game and understands what they're doing, to give those young gentlemen the best opportunities, the opportunities that they should have, and give them a chance to actually to be as successful as they possibly can be, we want the same for our girls, you know, and it just doesn't sit right. Thinking 2 weeks, next week is the trials. For whatever reason now, there can be a valid reason that Coach Clark is no longer the coach there. I have to say that as well. However, I'm not sure of that, but here we are. These girls have worked all summer. 2 weeks away. Next week is trials. And you're going to tell me that you're just going to let her go. I don't know the background and I don't know reasons, and I truly don't understand exactly what happened, but to let her go and just to bring in a placeholder for something that these girls are so committed to, right? This is just not like, oh, well, you know, just go there and just open the gym up and close the gym. That's not what these girls are looking for. And I think that would be a terrible injustice to allow that to happen to them without at least doing some form of due diligence and looking into it expeditiously, not waiting around and wrapping it around in politics, saying like, well, you know, we'll get to it. We're going to set a meeting. This is something that needs to be determined quickly. That's all.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in public comments? Please come forward, state your name and where you live.
Hi, my name is Dharmi Patel, live in Piscataway. Probably seen me many times here. Today I'm here with a concern about third grade writing level. I've been trying with my son for some time. I come to Board of Education meeting a lot. I haven't asked about it, but this week I met his teacher, and so I reviewed curriculum. I know what they should be learning, and they're learning vocabulary, right? So after vocabulary, they get 5 vocabulary words, and they have to use them in a sentence. Now, he's not able to spell. A kid who's not able to spell, if you're asking that student to write, they're struggling, and then they get frustrated. So I asked, how can we help at home? What are we doing in school? I was told they won't be writing next year. He'll be using technology, so he'll do fine with typing. How are we enabling our students to write without technology?
Mrs. Patel, I don't mean to interrupt you, but who told you that?
I'm not going to mention anybody's name,
Okay, that's
but
I appreciate that.
I can reach out and then I can give you the teacher's name. But I had a meeting this week.
Okay.
I met in person, so.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I understand technology, and then I was also mentioned about AI. I'm not going to go there, but my concern, I want to know about current state of how students are going to learn. How are we helping them to spell? At third grade level, there's no spelling quiz. I asked, there's no spelling quiz. Yes, we are writing. It's more about reading. Main idea of the story, what happens in the beginning, middle, end. But then, how are we expecting a student to write beginning, middle, and end if they're not able to spell? So, it's just something I think it's a huge concern for me, at least, that I may have to look something outside to help my son, but this is not the way to teach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in public comments? Okay, being I don't see anyone else stepping forward, can I have a motion to close public?
Sid wants to come back.
Okay, come on, Sid. Out of respect, I told you once everybody else finished.
I'm reminded about basketball. Over 60 years ago, a guy that was more than a foot taller than I did not get a 4-year scholarship and went to junior college, which was an option, and ended up getting his 2 years and then his 4 years.
Great.
So it's something
That's
they
great.
might consider.
That's great.
I'm going to start with what I ended with before,
yeah.
which is even if future generations take the expensive process of removing atmospheric carbon dioxide, which is the cause of global warming, atmospheric temperatures do not drop significantly for 1,000 years. What that means in practical terms is what we do or do not do in the next few years will figure out what the atmospheric temperature is for 1,000 years, and the atmospheric temperature is related specifically to the climate and the climate impacts that will happen. So if they're bad, they'll have more floods, everything that's bad that's happening because of climate's going to happen worse if we don't deal with this now. So what I'm looking for is for people to do something. And if the Board of Education, as individuals or as the board, can do something to educate my neighbors, or themselves for that matter, because I can explain this better if you want me to spend more time with you. But we need to do something. So I can give you an example of what can be done, and there are a lot of programs at the state level and the federal level that encourage you to do things that will eliminate the emissions from either gasoline or natural gas, which is what you use for your furnaces, etc. We've gone from up to 3 EVs. We've eliminated the gas things in our appliances, which is 2 gas furnaces and a gas water heater. We're now looking at our second solar system. The effect of that will be in a few years that we will save on electricity the equivalent of what we are paying today in property taxes. You need to make sure that people understand that in the long run, if they don't do this, it's going to cost them a lot more, in addition to destroying the planet for their children. And that I don't think I know that the majority, even the people that say that they want to have action on climate change, don't understand that if we don't have it now, it's going to affect them for their future generations for 1,000 years. And that's something that needs to be understood and needs to be propagated. Now, I've talked occasionally with David about programs that potentially the school board could use, and most of the time the funds are not available by the time he's gotten to them. But in my wildest dream, I say the way you can educate the public is to ask them to pass a bond that would allow the schools to get electric transportation. You educate the public, you ask them to spend money, and I know that's going to be hard to do, for a bond that'll pay for the thing. That's the only way I know, because I heard a lot of things that you've already been doing. Same thing as that the council's been doing, or the Piscataway Township is doing a lot in terms of what they're supposed to do too. But we got to find ways to do more. So that's my message.
Thank you, Sid. Anyone else wishing to speak? Come forward, please. Good evening.
So my name is Ethel Williams. My daughter is Michaela Williams. She's a senior on the basketball team, and this is my husband, Mike. So we initially, when we formed the basketball team, under Coach Clark, we as parents, we got together and we formed the Peeway Girls Basketball Parent Association to support our girls. I'm the president. He's also a member as well. There's a couple of members here as well. So this was, everybody pretty much said everything that I would have said. So far, Coach Clark has been a great coach. She's really pushed our girls. She's left an indelible impact on them. So of course we hate to see her go. We don't know what the reasons were. We have some questions here. We know that you're not able to answer them, or you may not be able to answer them, but we at least wanted to pose the questions that we had. Okay.
So what I'll do is I'm going to let you speak and pose the questions, but at the end of this, and I'll tell you now as well, you can just email me all those questions and I'll get back to you with
Just
the
email
answers.
to you? Okay.
Yeah, but you can ask them now so they're on the record
Okay.
as well. Yep.
Okay. So first question was, why was the coach let go, and why was the decision made so late? Who are you bringing in to coach the girls, and do they have qualifications, to coach a varsity team? How long will it be before we get a new coach? Same thing, everybody's asking the same question. Are we going to get somebody with a record, with qualifications that are going to help move them to the next level? Also,
will the uniforms be in on time?
Right, because we were ordering gear and things like that in the middle of all of that.
Put all that.
Right. What is the criteria for a volunteer coach? Because, we found out that we weren't allowed, or she was instructed she wasn't allowed to have volunteer coaches. If you postpone tryouts, when will the tryouts start? Are we going to miss any games? Our first scrimmage so far was supposed to be December 10th. What is the plan so that the girls don't suffer? And will there be a coach for the scrimmages? Is there anything that could have been done to prevent the decision to let her go at this late stage? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? If not, can I have a motion to close public session?
Motion.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Public session is closed. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight to speak to us, especially my students of Peeway High School. Always let your voice be heard. Never sit home and ponder on it. You bring it to where it needs to come, which is to let the public know what your feelings are, your reasoning behind it. And no matter what, always speak up for yourself. So I'm super proud of you for doing 100%. That. It's not an easy thing to do, but you came out here and did it. You handled it as I expected you to as a Peeway student. To the parents, thank you for supporting these girls and bringing them here this evening. Also having your voice heard, because sitting home accomplishes nothing. So in order to get the answers that you're looking for, you brought it to the right location, which is to us, and Dr. Ranelli will get back to you and answer any questions you have. No decision is ever an easy decision. You've asked the questions, and now you'll get the answers based upon what Dr. Ranelli tells you. But again, girls, I want to thank you because I'm proud of you. I've seen a lot of you with volunteering with the boys basketball concession stand and just being up there. Mr. Cook, we've seen each other over the years. But we hear you loud and clear, and Dr. Ranelli's getting ready to speak now.
Yeah, if I could just make one comment. So you leave here with an answer. There's no plan to delay anything, and you will not miss anything. So just so you know that, okay? You can leave here knowing that you'll be taken care of. There's no plan to delay anything. Tryouts won't be delayed. You're not going to miss any scrimmages. I don't know about the uniforms. I'll check, all right? So I just want you to feel comfortable that as disappointing as you may feel right now, nothing will be delayed. You won't miss anything. Right, I can answer that right now. It's not a really question and answer, but I think that was a theme. Well, what happens now and what's going to happen, two Mondays from now, you guys will be trying out. Okay? Thank you.
All right, thank
Please
you.
get home safely, and thank you really for coming out and talking to us.
Bye, Miss M. Okay, we're gonna proceed accordingly, according to the agenda, so that, next up, fiscal planning and operations, Dr. Connors.
Be resolved that the following motions identified as items A through O be approved as presented.
Second, Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Ms. Rivers?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Stafford? Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Policy, Ms. Smith. Page 9.
Be it resolved that the following motion identified as item A be approved as presented.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Ms. Rivers?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Curriculum, Mr. King.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through E be approved as presented.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Ms. Rivers? Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Pupil Services, Mrs. Cordino.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A and B be approved as presented.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Ms. Rivers?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Administrative and Auxiliary, Ms. Stratford.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through D be approved as presented.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Ms. Stafford?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Ms. Rivers?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Old business, anyone with old business?
Madam Chair, as part of that board certification, there was a board self-evaluation, and the New Jersey School Board field representative is compiling that. And where we would normally, the field representative would come out and present it to us. Seeing it's the end of the year, what we're going to do is that she's going to put that data together, and amongst ourselves, we'll have a discussion next at the next meeting, okay? On the board self-evaluation.
All right, thank you, Dr. Connors. Anyone else with old business? New business?
You do.
I know. Nancy?
I wanted to just bring up the New Jersey School Board's recognition, that next meeting that's coming up.
That was my discussion.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead, Madam President.
Okay. So I'm not going to explain it, but I'm going to bring it up. Dr. Vanelli and I spoke this morning about this and how we can actually have the best of both worlds. We can have our cake and eat it too, as I'm going to put it. We can go attend the New Jersey School Boards, everybody, the whole cabin, leave New Jersey School Boards and come over here and then start our meeting. Dr. Vanelli will explain the time frame to you, and we'll see if everybody agrees with this.
Yeah, so David Oliveira spoke to New Jersey School Boards today about the structure of that meeting and the timing. They start the meeting early enough, around 6:30. They do the portion where they give out awards 6:45 to 7:15. We'll ask them to do it in the beginning of that portion, and respectfully ask to excuse ourselves at 7. We can get back here at 7:30, have the executive session from 7:30 to 8, and start our public session at 8. And that allows you to be in both places on the same night, so everybody can get recognized for all the good work that we did. David, did I get that right?
If everybody's in agreement, can I have a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And I believe that I will be giving the greetings from the Jersey School Boards Association
great.
as well as.
Okay, we're gonna limit you to 3
presenting.
minutes though. Don't worry
I
about
have
it.
to keep it short, we gotta get back to
We got 3 minutes, Tom, we got no red lights to green. But Mrs. Cordino had something she wanted to say as well.
Well, real quick, is it about this? What I just said? Real quick. So, David Oliveira's office will advertise the meetings with the different time changes, and we'll just send those, that
He'll
meeting
send us
reminders home.
All right.
I have a question about the vending machines at the high school. They're not open during the day for students. Students were told this was due to a policy, that they're not allowed to open them during the day. I don't know if this is a new state policy, that's what I'm asking.
It's not new. So the machines we had and the vendor we had was not functioning properly, so we've pursued a new vendor. The machines are supposed to have timers that shut them down during the day because they do not sell NJDA, USDA compliant
Certified foods.
foods.
So the timers.
Children are not supposed to have access to Gatorade, Coca-Cola, Snickers, Cheeto, all that during the school day.
hours.
So we do have a new company that I'm more confident in. The machines do have timers so that they're not available during the day. The other problem from
Still
an
won't be, yeah.
operational level, in talking to the high school administration, was the students like to ask to go to the bathroom and would disappear
course.
to the snack machine.
Sure.
So operationally, they weren't too pleased either, but there is an actual regulation reason as well.
Statute.
And I had another question about attendance and hours for credit for like a full day. And I feel like we talked about this in policy at some point. So how many hours does a student have to be present to get credit for a full day of school?
I believe it's 4, but I don't have that
Okay.
that policy
So-
memorized, so I'll get back to you.
Okay, so that's what I'm just wondering, because I know there's a little bit of discrepancy when kids come out early, whether it's for a
Early
doctor's
release.
appointment or something, and they're getting absences for the full day, when in fact, they're there for a majority of the day. So that's why I'm curious as far as like the specifics for,
I'll check it out.
how many hours. I think, might have been told that because homeroom doesn't count, and that's a certain, I would think that it has more to do with, the actual hours being present.
Right.
So if you could check into that.
sure will.
That'd be great, and that's it.
One just quick thing, is that on Saturday, December 7th, so it's before our next meeting, the New Jersey School Board is holding what's known as this delegate assembly. So it'll be representatives from, each school district from around the state. And I'm the Piscataways representative to that. And one hot topic that's coming up in a lot of the resolutions, because the delegate assembly, they vote whether to add policy language to their manual when they go to advocate the legislatures, is the payments in lieu of taxes to pilots. And so anything that happens there that may affect us, I will be reporting on when I come back the next meeting.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Connors. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
No, you beat me.